Every day I'm shot calling. I'm a spray champagne, make it rain just to let you know.
Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boys, Casey and Travis here, and we are the reserves. And Travis, it's finally back. Baseball, the passion fruit of my life, has finally returned.
Ready to get started, huh?
I am. Spring training is finally here. So let's get right into it with this week's top 5 takes.
All right, guys. So at number 5, we have the Jimmy Butler injury reported last night. He was helped off the court because he wasn't able to put any pressure on his knee. So how do you feel it's gonna?
He has an MRI scheduled for today, but they're calling ACL tear. They're hoping he missed it, but being carried off the court last night, it's going to be pretty serious. He couldn't put any pressure on it at all. He couldn't take one step. So prayers out to my guy. I hope he's better, but
Yeah.
who knows?
What do you think this means for the Timberwolves season, though?
They're definitely still a playoff team, no doubt about it. But without Jimmy Butler, it's going to be kind of tough to make a long playoff run. If it's not an ACL, he could be back soon, or by the playoffs. So, like I said, prayers out to the guy. I hope he's better. I hope he comes back this season, and I hope he puts the Timberwolves in a good spot. Coming in at number 4 this week, we got the Red Sox signing J.D. Martinez. Huge for the Red Sox. This is the move they needed to make. This is the move that is the bat for the team that's going to make them contend for a World Series championship. They were a playoff team. They could have gotten a wild card. They could win the division, and now it's seriously going to be competition between the Yankees and the Red Sox this year. The total for the deal is 5 years, $110 million, which is really nice. But there is a player opt-out after 2 years, which is kind of sketchy that they gave a 2-year opt-out, but I still think it's good for the team.
Yeah. So do you think that they gave him the 2-year opt-out for basically just this year and next year, hopefully looking for a push, and after that they really don't want him? Or
I think they gave him player opt-out because that's what he wanted. He didn't want to commit to any team. That's why I didn't go back to Arizona, because they were willing to pay him. Well, we're willing to pay him over the 5 years, but he's probably looking to get a championship over those 2 years. And if he doesn't get a championship, or they don't make long playoff runs, he's probably going to end up leaving, which sucks. But it also, I mean, we have depth in the outfield anyways, so the Red Sox don't. He really helps. And the projected starting lineup for opening day is going to play DH, which will be good, but it's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of moving around this year in the outfield, and I can't wait to see how it happens.
all right, guys. So at number 3, we have the commissioner of the NBA is potentially deciding to have the best 16 teams go for the playoffs, aka the commissioner of the association. What are your thoughts?
I think it's nice. I mean, I don't think it should be done that way. It's definitely something to look into, but if you look at it, if it started today, I believe only 5 teams or 5 to 6 teams make it from the East. Everybody else is from the West because the West is so tightly packed. But the East, and LeBron said this, and he's getting criticism for it. He wants to leave the playoff format alone, even though they did change the All-Star format. He wants to leave the playoff system alone. Well, people are criticizing him because they think, oh, well, yeah, because the East is such a cakewalk for him. Well, how can you say that when they played so shitty this year?
Yeah.
They're 3-4 seed now. They're not leading the East. So I think it'd be nice. I also don't think they should do it. I think the playoff system is fine the way it is. It's the way every other playoff system runs, essentially. So I think it should stay the same. There's no way to reinvent it.
Yeah, it's been the same way ever since basketball was created. So.
Even though, like we talk about all the time, it's always the same 2 teams, the Warriors and Cavs lately.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's just the way it works out. Obviously, the 1 seed is going to get the easiest track. They play the 8 seed. There's nothing else. There's no other way around it. That's the way it should be.
And if you really think about it, I mean, if you do the best 16 teams, either way, you're going to look at the Warriors going deep, the Cavs potentially going deep again. I mean, there's not going to be much difference in the way the playoffs come out, just depending on what teams get in.
I mean, if you have the 1 seed versus the 16th seed, I mean, it's going to be totally different. But what's the difference in doing 1 in the 8 seed of your conference when it could be 1 in 16 seed of the opposite conference?
Right.
But the thing that gets me is they're always like, oh, we save on travel. This is like the lowest back-to-back game here. There's no 4 games in 5 days this year for the NBA. So I don't know why they would look at this, because then say you have Portland versus Toronto or Portland versus New York, 1st and 16th seed, and then Portland has to play Golden State.
Right.
And they say they go all 5 to 7 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have to bounce back every time. So they talk about all this travel, but
There's really no way to.
yeah, there's how can you look at this as travel intensive?
Yeah.
All right, guys, at number 2 this week, we have the Golden Knights again. The reason why, obviously, they had gotten the most wins out of inaugural season, but they are the first team of any inaugural team in their first season to have a winning season, and it's for sure, it's 100%. They're having a winning season this year. They are currently the best team in their conference, the Western Conference. Currently the best team. They are on track to win the President's Cup. You can't argue it. These guys are nothing to bat an eye at. They're definitely competing. And it's really shocking to say, like, it didn't take them time. It took them off season, and they were there. They took the draft and used it, and it turned out really good for them. They just made a trade yesterday, 3-way trade with the Penguins and the Senators. I don't see what they got out of it. They're absorbing 40% of the Senators' contract they traded away. But other than that, it just must be they had that little cap space left, so they didn't really take anything on. So I'm not really sure what they benefit in this deal, but I think they're definitely a serious team to contend with this year.
All right. So, guys, at number 1, we have Eric Hosmer. Sorry about that. AKA.
What's up with all the AKAs today, Travis?
I don't know, dude. It's in the script. All right. Anyway, so signing with the Padres.
This is groundbreaking. As you guys saw last week, this is we went over our MLB spring training with Eric Hosmer signing to the Padres. This really does put the Padres out there. I mean, yes, they might not be a playoff team. Yes, they might not be as good as other teams, but it's still going to put them on the map, essentially. Because, yes, Will Myers did play first base, and he's a hell of a first baseman. He can play first base with the best of them. But don't forget, when he was with the Rays, he played outfield, and he was good in the outfield. He's made some home run robs. He had good catches. He has speed to do it. It's going to be an adjustment to go back to actually playing the outfield, but I think it's great. I think it'd be good.
Yeah. So this deal includes a $144 million over 8 years with a 5-year player opt-out and $20 million each year guaranteed.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for 5 years, and this deal over 8 years it's really good for Hosmer. And it's really good for Padres because that's the type of deal Hosmer's looking for. He's that good of a player, essentially, to ask for this long of a contract to be a tenured player with a franchise, and he was tenured with the Royals. But now to switch to the Padres for a guaranteed 5 years minimum, to go to 8 years, if he doesn't opt out at 5 years and he goes to full 8, this is really going to be the contract of his life. And he's not going to have many longer than this. If he has one even close as long as this, a lot of players don't get an 8-year contract.
Right.
It's a big deal. What do you think of it? What's your opinion on it?
Like you said, I think it's a pretty big contract if it's only the 5 years and he decides to opt out after that.
Yeah.
But if he stays the full 8 years, do you see it as kind of a steal for the Padres in a sense?
I don't see it as a steal, but I see it as this. It plays big because now you have Hosmer for that amount of time. I'm not saying it's a small contract, but $144 million over 8 years is pretty small to some players in the league.
Right.
However, if he does stay the 8 years, that gives them 8 years to build around him. If they sat down and told Eric Hosmer, we are willing to build around you, we are going to make you our star, which I'm not saying they did. I'm not saying that would be the smartest choice for the Padres. But if they sat him down and said, we're building around you, which every team has to build a rounded player, or there's certain things that won't happen.
Right.
So if they sat him down and he agreed, if he opts out at 5 years and he doesn't, or if he gets to 5 years and he doesn't like what's going on, he's probably going to opt out. if that's the case. But I'm not saying that is. That's just my opinion. I think that's what the Padres have done is they told him, you are going to be our player. We are going to build our franchise around you over the next 8 years. Just like Miami tried to do with Stan, but you can't really build around Stan. You have to have Stan as an asset to build around somebody else because of his power.
Well, I think the Padres could be a potential landing spot for other players coming up.
Yeah, especially now that they have him. They could be a hot free agent.
Maybe more known.
Yep.
More availability.
I agree. So
now, for this segment, we're going to be doing foul trouble again this week. We got 3 huge scandals. I mean, these are stuff that you don't want to avoid because they're just...
And the fact that they're coming out now, it's weird that it's finally coming out. I mean, our first story has been known for a while that this has been an ongoing case. It's what's going on with Louisville basketball team, men's basketball team, I should say. The case has finally come to a close, and Louisville will have to revoke their 2013 championship. So the trophy, banners, everything like that, besides the rings. They don't have to give up the rings. But they also had to pay back all benefits to all their previous title runs from, I believe it's 2012, 2013, 14, and 15. From all their Final Four runs over those years, they have to return all that money. Any money they generated from those titles, they have to send back. Which, it's crazy to think that because...
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're going to be able to do that. I mean, I understand they probably have the records and stuff, but dating back that long, there's so much that's happened between them.
Yeah, like the story behind it is there was a rape allegation. There's different things behind the scenes that happen, and it's really tough. But the way a lot of people are looking at it is, it's 2013. How can they take a title away from 5 years ago? Well, one, it's the NCAA. They can do whatever they want. And two, it's simple. It doesn't matter. If there's a scandal behind it, just like the Super Bowls, like if there's a scandal behind it, and it comes to fruition, and it ends up being true, they can take anything they want away. Give it to the opponent. Granted, there won't be a 2013 title winner now. At least I don't think so. They haven't announced it. But it doesn't matter. That means there's no 2013 title. So it's as if the tournament really never happened.
Yeah. I kind of feel like, I don't want to say that they should give the other team it because they obviously lost. But because of the scandal, I mean, the scandal had nothing to do with them cheating.
Yeah.
So
that's
you can't really give the other team the chip because they just flat out didn't win it. It had nothing to do with the game of basketball.
That's the toughest part is, how can you say this affected the play? I mean, obviously, they should be punished. 100% should be punished.
Absolutely.
But why did it come to taking the title away? Why didn't it be the money revenue or the money generated and so on?
Right. Maybe
not necessarily the title, but people getting fired, so on. It's definitely something has to be serious. They definitely seriously have to be punished. There's no doubt about it. They shouldn't have happened. It should have never occurred.
Right.
It's simple as that.
I just personally don't think the chip should have gone away from them.
But I don't feel bad.
I don't feel bad.
It should have happened.
For sure. So, guys, our second foul trouble top story is the Maverick sex scandal. The CEO of the Mavs sexually assaulted a ton of women that used to work in the organization. And a lot of women just started coming out recently. And the main reason I think that is because they were too scared to lose their job. Maybe it was a tough situation for them when they had a job.
Yeah.
So I feel that's why they didn't come out earlier.
Yeah, I mean, this is huge. The way it's coming to fruition is that, nobody knew. You're telling me nobody knew that the CEO was doing this? You're telling me Mark Cuban had no idea? Even Dirk. I mean, granted, the players probably don't know because that's more behind the scenes than they're probably involved.
Right.
But Dirk even said, the fact that this was going on in my organization sickens me. Because he's been there the whole time it's been going on. He's been with the Mavs his whole career. So for him to say the fact that this has been going on sickens me, damages their reputation. Not that just this scandal damages it, but when your player, your franchise player, his whole 20 years says that, it's really going to damage, I don't want to play for these guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there in free agency and so on. It just really kills the fact of they won a championship while this was going on.
Right.
That's what really. Yeah. It's the same thing as Louisville. Like, should their championship be taken away? There's now NBA came out with an assault hotline. Yeah, which is really big. Adam Silver announced that, which is really nice. Yeah, but I don't think that's enough. The FBI investigation is still going on. It was a huge Sports Illustrated investigation, and it just came out recently. And it's shocking that this happened in the Mavericks. It's not something you think Mark Cuban would allow. You don't think it would go on there.
Well, once again, I mean, it had nothing to do with basketball, but it has everything to do with basketball. Because, like you said, now players aren't going to want to go here because there's a chance that these people are still in the office, still making these bad decisions.
Yeah.
100%. Whether it still happens or not, it did happen.
Yeah, and I mean, I know I said you don't expect it to happen, but nobody ever expects it to happen in their organization. But it's so tough to look at it as, oh, these guys didn't know. Because how can you say the owner didn't know? When there was this many people and when it was so known in the Dallas community, the women say, like, the main woman that was mentioned in the Sports Illustrated story that had gotten hired and mentioned certain things, I'm not going to say it, but mentioned that the CEO said certain things to her. And when she reflected on it, she remembered her friends and family and associates saying, oh, watch out for the CEO, watch out for this organization. I can't believe you're going to work there, because it's so well known in the community of Dallas that how didn't any of these guys know? If random people off the street know that he's doing bad things, how didn't the owner know? How didn't anybody know?
Yeah.
It's so,
at least one of the players. I mean, you're part of that organization. I'm not saying you should know.
Yeah, it's so tough to say nobody knew. Yeah. Somebody had to have known.
Well, there's a lot of trouble for the Mavs now because, one, they're trash. I mean, they're booty cheeks.
Yeah, they're really bad.
So there's really no hope for them in the next. How long do you think this is going to last? I mean, I feel this is going to last at least 5 years.
The investigation is going to go on a minimum of a year. Case is going to take at least a year.
Even for players like wanting to go there, I think until everything is
I was going to say, even when the case is finalized and the case has a disposition, it's going to go on. People are still going to be like, no, I don't want to be associated with that mess. Yeah. It's tough to say, I want to participate in that.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't want to if I was
and I wouldn't.
So I don't blame them for not wanting to.
All right, guys, for our final story of foul trouble, we will be taking on the NCAA scandal that's going on right now. The FBI is now taking it into investigation with, I know it's Duke and many other trademark teams and schools that are recruiting players, paying them, and even Lonzo Ball is quoted to say, just quoted this week, saying that everybody knows everybody's getting paid, so why not just make it legal? However, last year, at the beginning of the season, he said, I never received any money in my year at UCLA. And then goes on to say this, makes you skeptical. But so also Sean Miller, who's the coach of Arizona, was reportedly wiretapped by the FBI by a recruit and was taped about paying a recruit $100,000 to come play for them. DeAndre Ayton is making sure when he played for the Wildcats that he was going to get paid.
Wow.
And it's so... I mean, everybody knows, like, oh, yeah, somebody's probably getting paid. There's definitely people getting paid in college. 100%. But now it being illegal, everybody's just, no, it's not happening. No, it's not happening. But now Coach K is all getting looked at because it's happening. And now everybody is like, oh, yeah, it's happening. Like, everybody already knew, but now everybody's saying, no, it's not happening. It's not happening. And now it's come out to where what's going on.
I understand that Duke is a go-to basketball college. I mean, if you want to get noticed, Duke is, going to be your top 5 landing spot.
100%. The top 3 in the country are going there.
Yeah, it makes you think how many times this may have happened over the years.
Oh, yeah.
They've always had so many
How
good
long
players.
has Coach K been there? Exactly.
They've always had a top team.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. And I mean, okay, maybe they weren't paying, but it's been going on. The Ranch the show on Netflix jokingly says, "Oh yeah, like I got paid in college. Yeah, that was a joke, right? Like, no, like people get paid regardless. Just like Jameis Winston when he got in trouble for signing autographs, every player does it, but because he's a big name, he got caught. And just like now, everybody's getting caught. It's been happening. We all knew it, and now, oh no, I didn't do it. No, and there's nothing you can do to stop it now. Now you're going to be in trouble, but as Lonzo said, it should be legal. It's not right. The NCAA tournament is, I believe it was an $8.9 billion deal in 2016 for like the next 4 years or 9 years, whatever it was, which is a lot of money. For the NCAA to take that money is, there's got to be something you can give players, even if it's $25 a game.
Yeah.
And you pay them a lump sum for however much they go into the tournament.
Right.
It's simple as that. You can't look at it as, oh no, nobody was doing it, or it's only these top schools. Every school is doing it. Every D1 school has paid an athlete at least once. I promise.
It just makes you think. Not even just Duke. I mean, all the other big names.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, maybe
anyone.
Syracuse. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, personally, college athletes should not be paid. I mean, this is what's getting them ready for being paid.
They're college athletes.
Yeah.
College comes first.
Right.
You're not getting paid. It's supposed to be. The NCAA is an amateur league. It's an amateur league for schools.
Right.
Amateur is qualified as not getting paid. Semi-pro is not being paid.
Right.
Professional is when you get paid. So I don't think they should get paid.
No.
But if it's going to happen, make it legal. There's a lot of things that go on in this situation. But all right, today, guys, that wraps it all up of Foul Trouble. So remember to smash that like button. Remember to hit subscribe. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Like us on Facebook. Get everything out there for your friends and family. Share us, whatever you can do. And remember, guys, just one phrase, 6 words.
Been ballin',
still ballin', stay ballin'.
Tell a hater get up on my face. Yeah, I've been ballin' since like yesterday.